Dave, you know, you've had this deck of cards for a while. I know it's a gift, but can I use it for another effect here? Yeah. And before we start, just so that everything's fair, I'd like you to shuffle the cards, make sure that they're well mixed. Janelle, would you hang on to that until we're done? And once you're done shuffling the cards, I'd like you to take the cards and look intently at the faces, just so that you register the faces of the cards, go all the way through it, because I'm going to have these cards impress themselves on your memory. And so, because later on we're going to try and have you call these back up purely from memory. Okay. It's not like you're having to memorize anything. Don't worry about that. It's not that kind of, it's not that kind of pressure. I just want you to kind of give one final impression on what those cards were. And I'm going to see if I can't kind of go through here and draw any impressions from what I'm getting. I think this will be just right. Here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to place some cards out here as marker cards, one of each color. And what I'm going to do, we're not going to go through the whole deck this way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the cards and I'm going to pull out a few cards and ask you to just guess. Give me your first impression on whether or not you think that card is a red card or a black card, okay? And we'll just go through.
That's red.
Red card.
Red.
Red card.
Red. Black. Black. Red. Black.
Okay. You know, you're doing a good job. You're really...
Red.
Oops.
Red.
There we go. Okay, so let's see how we're doing here. You're doing really well so far. You're really doing well. We'll just go through a few more cards here.
Black. Black. Red.
And just one more.
Red.
Very good. Now that's a good start. The reason I'm stopping at this point is I just want to kind of mix things up a little bit. I'll place a red card here, and let's see, I'll place a black card here. Let me put that face up, kind of as a marker card. And let's go ahead and square these cards up. This is really kind of more of an experiment taking place here. And now I'm going to give the cards a good shuffle, so that now nobody knows the order of any of these cards.
Right.
Okay? And once these cards are well mixed, I'm going to allow you to determine exactly how many cards we use in this. Cut about half or less of those cards so that we have just a random number there. Now, we could have used any of these cards. Okay? It was your random cut to determine how many cards would be used. I'd like you to take those cards and shuffle those cards up, so that there's no way that we can know the location of any of those cards. And now do the same thing, only putting the black cards here and the red cards here. Just giving your first impression and deal the cards onto the table face down. Getting some idea, just to go with the first instinct that comes into your mind as to what those cards might be. And it could happen that cards would be unevenly distributed like that. It does happen. And it doesn't necessarily have to be even one pile to the other. Just go on your first instinct. Very good, very good. Now there's no way that I could have determined what cards went. You and you alone determined which cards went into which piles, right?
Right.
Now let's see if this in fact worked to some extent, and there's no guarantee that it'll work beyond, you know, a reasonable number of hits, but all of these would be red.
Right.
All of these would be black. All of these would be black. All of these would be red. I don't want to interfere with anything here. You're the ones that place the cards there. Do me a favor. Let's check to see how you've done, one packet at a time.
Black.
If all of those were supposed to be black, let's see how well you did.
Just look at David.
Just look at Dave. Each and every one. Check these out. Check these out as well. Each one of these were supposed to be red. Can I just go ahead and see how well you did? Each and every card. Oh, except for one, the Jack of Clubs. But think of the odds that we're getting here. Every one of these right. Every one of these right except for one. Now, if that had in fact happened, each one of these would be black. Let's see, there's a, you had a long string of them here. Let's see. Each. Oh, except for the one. Each and every one. But every one of those cards, right, except for the 4 of hearts, each over here, if these are supposed to be red, each and every one of those cards red. Good job. Good job. Good job. Yeah. You know, I tell you, there's a serious temptation to just kind of sit and bask in the results here, but the reality is actually even more impossible than it may seem at first glance. And I'll tell you why, because keep in mind, you shuffled at the beginning, you determined how many we did here, we shuffled again, you determined how many cards were going to be used there. You know, we could have used any of these cards, but you had determined that these were the ones we were going to use. And we got every single card right except for the Jack of Clubs and the 4 of Hearts. But as you'll remember, before this began, I placed this. I'd kind of made a note to myself, right? Right before we started, I said, let me make a little mental note to myself here. You know, the first thing I said, okay, it's Dave's deck. Okay, that was it. Don't forget to give the day back to Dave. But I also said that you will get every card right except the 4 of Hearts and the Jack of Clubs, exactly as I had predicted. Wow. Wow. Oh, teamwork.